At 33, Taylor is Time's 2023 Man of the Year and ranked 5th on the Forbes US list of the world's most influential people. As a pop icon, Swift is in the exquisite company of Michael Jackson, Madonna, and Elton John. As a songwriter, she has reached the level of McCartney and Dylan. As a businesswoman, she has single-handedly created an empire worth more than $1 billion. What brought her success? We are accustomed to the fact that many celebrities complain about their childhood and life path: parents divorced, the neighborhood is bad, in school spanked, roles are not given, the producer brazenly put to bed. And with a gasp read how many difficulties the hero or heroine overcame on the road to success. So, with parents, Swift was lucky, and the difficulty in her life met only one, but the length of 14 years about it later. And for now, about the good. Taylor was born in 1989 in the town of West Reading in Pennsylvania, in a friendly and wealthy family. Her father, Scott Kingsley Swift, became a bank president. Her mother, Andrea, raised Taylor, her younger brother Austin, and ran the house. Her parents loved country music and even named their daughter after popular country musician James Taylor. And her grandmother, Marjorie Finley, was a professional singer, performing arias from operas and popular music. One of the first childhood memories of Taylor, grandmother sings in the church choir, and she cries, because otherwise there is no other way to express the excitement that she suddenly possessed. Marjorie told her granddaughter about the magic of the stage, which never lets go, about how you feel in front of a room full of people before you take the first note. And Swift had been raving about the stage since she was a little girl. Taylor's parents did everything they could to develop her talent. They paid her expensive tuition and moved to where it was easier for her to advance, changing their whole life for their daughter. At school, Swift was not popular at all. She was not interested in sports games, friends, parties, boys, and dating, so her classmates shunned her. Taylor recently said, "I never felt like I belonged amongst my peers." Now it's pretty funny to read words of adoration from former classmates on Twitter, but you still have to smile and waste words of appreciation. She wanted to be an actress, starring in movies and performing on stage, and it was not a dream, but a practical adult goal. At age 12, Taylor mastered playing the guitar. At 14, at night wrote songs for corporate and local advertising campaigns, not for free, on weekends performed on the streets of her hometown. Her parents bet on her daughter's talent, and the whole family moved to Nashville, the capital of country music, where she had a better chance to advance. Her mom and dad took her to New York City, where she took vocal and acting lessons. She did well in music. Things were much worse with theater, and Taylor bet on a career as a singer. She signed her first music contract at the age of 15, left school, and switched to homeschooling. Lessons in poetry and musical composition were given to her by the famous poet Liz Rose, who could not play any musical instrument, which did not prevent her from creating excellent compositions. Together, they wrote many songs, including the one that won Taylor her first Grammy Award in 2006. She sang about love and was listened to and embraced by her peers. 3 years later, rising country star Taylor Swift, 6 feet 2 inches, bow lips, curls, silver outfit, and bare shoulders, took the stage at the 2009 MTV Video Music Awards to give thanks, as is customary, for her first Best Female Video Award, which went to her song You Belong With Me. Suddenly, rapper Kanye West ran on stage, aggressive and brash, took the microphone away from her and shouted that the win should have gone to Beyoncé. Taylor was confused, the audience murmured in bewilderment, and a giant screen immediately showed an extremely happy Beyoncé. Kanye was escorted out of the auditorium. This episode was the beginning of an epical feud. Kanye's behavior angered everyone. Even U.S. President Barack Obama and millionaire Donald Trump suddenly agreed and berated the rapper. Frightened by such a deafening response, Kanye apologized to Taylor and later explained his prank by saying that he was told to do so by God. Taylor accepted his apology and wrote a song about her experiences. Since then, any significant event in her life, be it an affair or personal drama, such as her mother's breast cancer, goes into the furnace of her creativity and turns into another song. The scandal only benefited Swift as everyone sympathized with her and her fan base grew. Years passed, Kanye became a star, married Kim Kardashian, he had children, Swift became more and more famous. They met at parties, sweet talk, together photographed. From the outside, it was hard to suspect that Kanye is still angry and resentful of Taylor, and Taylor herself considers him an enemy. Suddenly, in 2016, Kanye released an album, the first song of which, Famous, began with the lyrics, "I think me and Taylor might have slept together / I made that SD famous." In the 10-minute video for the song, Kanye lies surrounded by naked 3D figures, with Taylor Swift on the left and his wife, Donald Trump, and other celebrities on the right. Immediately after the album's release, Kanye tweeted that he told Swift about the song on the phone and she approved it. The offended star was outraged and stated that it didn't happen. That's when Kim stood up for her beloved husband and posted a recording of the conversation. All heard how Swift agrees with the lyrics of the song. And the wave of indignation of fans rose against her. She not only allowed the rapper to expose himself in an unsightly light, but also lied. It turns out that the conversation took place. Taylor tried to backtrack. "I talked to him, but he didn't mention CCK, he didn't mention the video, or I wouldn't have agreed to it." Nevertheless, the outrage did not subside. In social networks from Taylor wrote off tens and hundreds of thousands, with criticism and profanity at her fell not only fans of Kanye and Kim Kardashian, but also their own, seemingly so loyal and loving. In stadiums where Kanye performed, they chanted, "We hate Taylor." For Taylor, who always tried to be a good girl, the second scandal was a shock. She was frightened by the ease of turning universal adoration into hatred. She went to London for a year with another boyfriend, actor Joe Right Arrow Curving Down, and then said that in London, the old Taylor died. There was some truth in it. She matured, realized that there are advantages to being a victim. The main thing is not to get stuck in it, but to show how you manage to overcome everything. And she released the album Reputation, dedicated to the conflict with West, how she was scared and hurt, and yet she was able to rise up and become stronger. Fans came back to her. Her career continued to go uphill. Kanye divorced Kardashian, but both he and his ex Right Arrow Curving Down still dislike Taylor. About once a year, the whole company pulls out the hatchet and publicly accuses each other of lying, all over the same old album. Swift flaunts her political views. She was persuaded not to do it, fearing half her fans would turn away from her. "So be it," replied Swift. In the election openly supported Biden, and her fame was not affected. They spent the summer together, boosted their ratings, and parted sweetly, exchanging compliments. Taylor has had long relationships with some. British actor John Alwyn was her date from 2017 until the spring of 2023. He starred in her videos and co-wrote many of her songs, so the news that they broke up came as a surprise to the singer's fans. In the summer, everyone was struck by the news that she was dating musician Matthew Healy again. 10 years later, very talented, suffering from depression and all sorts of Right Arrow Curving Down. People love stories, and Taylor is using social media to tell stories about herself. And that's one of the cornerstones of her success. It seems as if Taylor has no secrets from her fans. She even shares with them the names of boyfriends, which were either 15 or 16. Some of them stay in her friends for only a few months, such as the handsome and aristocratic Tom Hiddleston, the performer of the role of Loki in the Marvel Universe. Fans of the singer did not approve of it. After all, Taylor's moral character, despite the many novels, is impeccable. She never starred in explicit photo shoots and did not appear on the covers of men's magazines. It seems that Swift listened to the criticism, and by the fall she had a new, 100% positive boyfriend, American soccer star, handsome and big Travis. He attended her concert in Kansas City. She came to his match and was in the same box with his mother, a friend and the wife of a friend. They left the stadium as a group, then the two of them went to a restaurant, after which the sales of t-shirts Kelsey increased by 40%, and the number of men among Swift fans increased by 20%. It is written that this relationship is only a publicity stunt, and in fact Taylor did not break up with Healy. There are also rumors about this romance being a political act to unite the American nation, as Taylor is a Democrat and Kelsey supports Republicans. Maybe the couple will go to the wedding, or we'll get a new album about love, disappointments, and relationship breakups. The singer knows how to keep the intrigue, and for all her sincerity does not reveal the main thing. The current tour of Taylor Eras began in March 2023 and will last until November 2024. Taylor has managed to hold concerts in the United States and South American countries. They brought in a total revenue of $4.3 billion, increased her fortune by $190 million, and it now stands at $1.1 billion. After the first leg of the Eras tour, she gave away $50 million to her team because her earnings were higher than expected. She changed in her favor the situation with the rights to her own songs. Typically, musicians sign a contract with a company, more commonly said, a label, that is, the company's brand name, that promotes them, and in doing so, owns the rights to all original recordings that generate revenue and pays the artists a small percentage. Swift worked with Big Machine Records from 2005 to 2019 and then decided to leave, but the rights to her songs were not returned to her even through the courts. A contract is a contract. What's more, she found out that the rights to her songs were given to a company run by a friend of her hated Kanye West. Swift got angry and re-recorded the old albums again, adding new songs and changing the arrangement. She had the money to do it, and the company was left with nothing. Taylor's success forced major labels to renegotiate contracts with other artists on more favorable terms for them so that they do not want to repeat Taylor's act. And this year Swift refused the services of intermediary distributors and agreed to show her concert film Eras tour directly through theaters. So before it did not do anyone, and it turned out that it is much more profitable for the artist. Beyoncé and her touring movie also went for a direct contract. And there's another novelty. Usually movies about the concert tour are shown at the end of it, or they will see, do not go. Swift showed her movie at the beginning of the tour, and it became the most popular concert movie of all time, and tickets to her live concerts on her world tour at $400 and up have long since sold out. She is breaking stereotypes in concert business management and marketing and has already made over $1 billion on her tour. Taylor is a feminist and supporter of the Me Too movement. In 2017, she won a lawsuit against radio host David Miller, who ran his hands up her skirt 4 years earlier. And yet she is all for femininity, for pink, for bows and rhinestones, for the ability to look like a girl and still be a strong person, not just a sexual object. Because she has built a world of her own in which there is room for many, turned her story into a global legend, and brought joy to a society that desperately needs it. That's what Time wrote about it. Taylor writes lyrics for her songs in beautiful literary language and doesn't think her audience are dullards who can't comprehend the high. She doesn't just work, she works hard for her popularity, which means people, all of us. She wants to be loved, and she shows herself at her best, does charity work, gives gifts to fans and organizes parties for them, suddenly comes to someone's wedding, pays for someone's education, doesn't swear from the stage and adores her 3 kitties. Sure, she can be suspected of being fake, just like any other person trying to be better. But don't confuse being and appearing. Swift is not a seemingly nice person. She is. During the tour, 3 kitties flew with her on her private jet. I love them, I'm obsessed with them, Swift likes to say in interviews. When Time magazine asked for permission to photograph her as Person of the Year, she asked the question, "Can I bring my cat with me? I'm alone all the time." Being alone is not the same as being lonely. I like to do things while being alone. For example, I buy scented candles, dim the lights, and listen to my playlist. Don't treat your loneliness like you have the plague. Appreciate it.